Welcome everybody. I am Dattatray representing Vedabi Global Services. Vedabi Global Services is a specialist in providing support and services in BI and EPM space. We provide pre-sale support, health checkup and optimization, installation, configuration, upgrade, migration, support and maintenance, and end-to-end implementation. So today's agenda for webinar is planning components, planning application requirements, setting permission for Hyperion planning database, and managing planning forms. Hyperion planning components. So these are the components for planning, that is SBase, administration services, workspace, performance management architect, calculation manager, smart view, financial reporting, and shared service. We will see this component in details one by one. The first component is SBase. Planning leverages Oracle SBase analytic and calculation capability, security filter, API, pre-built financial intelligence, and multi-database application support. Planning stores the application definition in relational database and creates SBase database and security privileges for application. Data sources are used to link the relational database and SBase server and are associated with each planning application. The next component is administration services. Administration services is the interface to SBase server. Using Administration Services Console, it enables you to design, develop, maintain, and manage multiple SBase applications and databases. The next component is Workspace. Workspace enables you to navigate and manage planning application. The next component is Performance Management Architect. Performance Management Architect is a component of planning installation and configuration. You use it to create and work with planning application and dimension, smart list, UDA, member formulas, and other features. You can also create business rules. With Performance Management Architect, you can view, create, and validate Performance Management Architect application and deploy them to create planning application. The next component is Calculation Manager. Calculation Manager enables you to use graphical user interface to create calculation script. The next component is Smart View. Smart View is Microsoft Office interface to planning where user can perform their planning and forecasting activities. Smart View also enables users to work offline in disconnect mode. They can analyze planning data in Microsoft Outlook, Excel, Word, and PowerPoint. Ad hoc grid in SmartView enables planning user to personalize focused data slices that they frequently access and share them with others through SmartView or planning. The next component is financial reporting. Oracle Hyperion Financial Reporting is a management reporting tool that transforms data into meaningful business information through highly formatted reports. Planning users can use financial reporting to manage reporting tasks and implement planned review and analysis. User can create reports featuring text, grid of data, charts, graphs, and images. They can use real-time ad hoc variance reporting and produce a variety of sophisticated financial reports that can be viewed online or printed with production quality format. The last component is shared services, which enables you to provision users from external system to Hyperion product and to share data and metadata among planning applications or between planning and other Hyperion products. So these are all about Hyperion planning components. Planning application. So when you create planning application through application creation wizard, you will get this window where you can put various options for planning application. So we will divide this application setting wizard into three parts, that is application information, second is the planning application types, and the third one is the calendar. So in the first part, that is application information, you specify the name for the planning application, then type, that is planning, then you can specify description for your planning application, and then there are two options, that is create blank application or auto create local dimensions. You can select create blank application to create an empty application and use the dimension library to drag and drop dimension into application. Or you can select auto create local dimension if you want to create a local application. Now the second part, that is planning application type, where you can specify the option for the application type, that is journal or public sector planning or budgeting, or you can specify project financial planning. You also select plan types for your application. You have to define at least one plan type for your planning application. In the default currency, you specify the default currency that you want to use in your planning application. If your planning application is a multi-dimensional currency application, then you can select use multiple currency option. Now in the third part, that is calendar, you can set calendar option for the best time period. If you select 12 months, then you have to enter the fiscal start month and weekly distribution. There are two options available, that is create new local period dimension or create new local year dimension. If, if you select create new local period dimension, Then you have to enter the period name for new dimension in the calendar area. If you select custom for base time period, then you have to enter the period name, prefix and period per year. So if you select other option, that is create new local year dimension, then you have to enter the appropriate information for the new dimension in the calendar area, including the year name, first fiscal year and the total number of years. So if you select a planning application type as general, then you can specify the plan name. For the plan type, you will get three plan types and other two plan types, that is workforce name and capital assets name. And if you select public sector planning and budgeting as a planning application type, then you will get three plan type and also human capital planning name, and you will get an option to specify the budget details. And if you select project financial planning as a planning application type, then you will get three plan types and the other plan type for industry sample. After this, when you click next button, then you will get this screen where you have to specify the dimension for your application. The required dimension for the planning is entity, version, scenario, account, year, period, alias, currency, and other dimensions are attribute, smart list, and UDA. Planning application requirement. You can create planning applications manually or using the application wizard. Planning application must meet the requirements, that is, the application must have a name and it must be assigned to at least one plan type. The default currency property must be defined. The fiscal year start date property must be defined. The first year member in the year dimension and fiscal year start date property must describe the same year. So these are the requirements for the planning application. Setting permissions for Hyperion planning. Permission for Hyperion planning includes the authentication of provisioned user and groups by the external user directory. Oracle Hyperion Shared Services roles that set access permissions for managing application group, applications, dimensions, users, and groups. These are the roles for the planning application. First one is the project manager, which creates and manages application groups in shared service. The second one is provisioning manager. It provisions the users and group to application. Third one is a dimension editor. This role required for performance management architect and planning application administration. The fourth one is the planning application creator which required for performance management architect and classic application. For performance management architect, it allows user to create planning application and performance management architect generic application. For classic, it allows access to the classic application administration option for planning. You can assign access permission to scenario member, version members, account members, entity members, user-defined custom dimension members, launch privileges to business rule, forms, forms folders, and business rule folders, and task list. Hyperion Planning Database. These are the few tasks for the administration of planning application. First one is unblocking application. Second one is the viewing usage statistic. Third one is creating and refreshing application databases. And fourth one is backing up applications and application databases. Unlocking application. Occasionally, planning application can become locked. For example, if user abnormally exits the application and planning, the unlock application utility clears all records in the HSP_lock table. You must run the utility from the planning application server. The second one is viewing usage statistic. You can determine which planning users are logged on the current application and how long since they accessed the application. Users are not listed if they logged on through the other applications such as financial reporting, smart view, and third-party reporting tool. The next task is creating and refreshing application databases. You can create and refresh application databases which are used to store data in planning for each plan type in the application. Databases are structured according to dimensions, hierarchy members, attribute, and other data specified in application. Sbase creates an encrypted data file that is sbase.sec to store access permission information. You must refresh the application database whenever you change the application structure. Changes made to an application are not reflected to users performing data entry and approval tasks until you refresh the planning databases for the application. The next task is backing up applications and application databases. Backing up application and their related application databases consist of backing up the application in Sbase, backing up the relational database for planning and financial reporting, and backing up required components of planning. Managing planning forms. For Oracle Hyperion Planning, you can design forms for multiple currencies. You can design forms for bill-through information. You can also design forms with formula rows and columns. You can design forms with a data validation. Also, transferring global assumption from a test to production environment, and you can also design form for rolling forecast. Thanks for participating in the webinar. We will look forward to see you again in the upcoming webinar for Vedabi Global Services. Please contact us for any query related to BI and EPM space to email and mobile numbers available on the contact us slide. Have a great time.